Got to talk about General Motors. GM expects to complete the sale of most assets to a new entity this week. And according to car czar Stephen Rattner, the company will have a, quote, leaner and meaner management. Also, according to Rattner, the new GM will be a smaller company than it was and somewhat less global. So it would be natural for the management structure to change. Bloomberg News' John Hughes is fresh out of the conference call with Rattner. So, John, talk to me a little bit more about what you heard. What really stood out in your view?
Well, hi, Carol. The main thing he wanted to do was sort of declare victory today and remind us that, several weeks ago he said this would be a short process of bankruptcy, and it was a short process. He said the sale would be successful to a new entity funded by Treasury, and it was. So he wanted to remind us that from the government standpoint, this went well.
What was his tone and demeanor? This is obviously not an easy one to unravel and go through. There's a lot of steps when it comes to General Motors. What was his tone?
His tone was, the government is stepping back now. He's saying this is going to be a GM company run by GM, and the government is not going to be, telling the company what to do, not deciding what kind of cars to make. That Fritz Henderson is running this company, and he'll continue to do so.
What about on an IPO front? John, over the last week or so, stuff has floated about how quickly maybe we could see a new GM trading publicly again. What did Mr. Rattner have to say on that front?
He didn't want to make any predictions, but he said he hopes in the first 6 months of next year we'd see that.
That he hopes that we would see that. All right, John, we're going to leave it there. Hey, listen, thank you so much. Bloomberg's John Hughes breaking down that.
Thank you, Carol.
You bet. Thank you, John. That conference call with Steve Rattner. Now, we may be a lot closer to actually having a new GM, but there are some more obstacles already popping up. Bloomberg's Gigi Stone is here with the details. So, again, another round of obstacles here for GM.
That's right, Carol. One appeal was already filed today. It's from a group of people who were involved in accidents involving GM vehicles. Now, they say the new company should take on their claims against the automaker. And they may not be the only objectors to GM plan to sell its assets. Bondholders and unions still have a few days to appeal as well. They've been arguing the new GM, mostly owned by the government, would basically just be the old GM stripped of liabilities. But federal judge Robert Gerber decided last night that it was the best option available. He noted that, quote, GM is hopelessly insolvent and there is nothing for stockholders now. And if GM liquidates, there will not only be nothing for stockholders, there will be nothing for unsecured creditors. Basically, Gerber agreed with the company's main contention that it just can't survive as it is, Carol.
All right, Gigi, thank you so much. And we also do have a headline crossing. You can see it at the bottom of your screen. This is coming from the Wall Street Journal. General Motors said to be enthusiastic about Beijing Auto's Opel bid. So again, GM obviously working through a sale of some of its assets, and General Motors specifically addressing the Opel bid and saying it's pretty enthusiastic about that bid for Opel.